Hello, I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen. Don't you guys love some Christmas specials that don't even take place during Christmas? One of the most notable ones, for me anyway, was Frosty and Rudolph's Christmas in July. Those were good old movies, those stop-motion featurettes. I guess a lot of people didn't really like that one, but I found it enjoyable. Well, the reason why I'm bringing up this Christmas special not in Christmas because today's fanfic, well, most people know the Grinch for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And today's fanfic, called The Death of All Grinches, or Grinchs, because they forgot the E in there for the plural for Grinches. Well, you get the idea. It's in the middle of summer. It's July, and I'm reading a fanfic that involves Grinches. It might not have anything to do with Christmas, but when I hear the word Grinch, I think of Christmas. Yeah. So, it's called The Death of All Grinches, with a period at the end. That's a weird title. I think they meant to have an E in there. By Samoosh, or Shamoosh. It's on DeviantArt. Let's see. Comments have been disabled. That's a telling sign. Only one person favorited it. That's a tongue twister. And it has 190 views as of the time I filmed this episode. Might have more views by the time it airs. But whatever. So, let's get started. Shamoosh was wed to the Mountain King, and for a few years she lived alongside the horrible beast, pretending to love him, gaining his trust, learning the secrets of these horrible creatures. Well, that was one long sentence. And it looks like it's a self-insert fanfic. Oh boy, isn't that fun! She had witnessed herself the extent of their cruelty, their disgusting ways. Okay, it should be T-H-I... 3, 2, 1, action. Okay, it should be T-H-E-I-R, not T-H-E-R-E. Why do people keep on mixing up those? It seemed commonplace for these creatures to steal underage girls from their rooms in the middle of the night and force them to be their bride. The last I checked, the Grinch would just steal toys for Christmas. He never stole girls, unless there's like a porno version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I don't even think I want to know, because that probably does exist. Though she wasn't surprised. They are a sick, vile race of beings which had to be whipped off the face of the earth for the sake of mankind. Don't you mean wiped off the face of the earth? And the E in earth should be capitalized because it's a name. How could the humans hope to live with the threat of these predators around? Though stupid and dim-witted, they simply couldn't be allowed to live any longer. I love how this person has no commas. They all had to be slaughtered. It was the only way. For the sake of all underage girls all over the world and anybody who would be at risk from getting perved by these pedo bears, Shamoosh came up with the wonderful plan, one to rid the world of them all for one swift blow. One night while her husband was asleep, excuse me for that, she crept from their lair and back to the mountain town. Now, the girl wasn't alone, unlike some people. Okay, some people should be 2 words, not 1, and why is it capitalized? She had friends and could rely on them to help her. For the past few years, she'd been keeping in contact with those on the outside, relying on them to do research and to find a way to turn herself back to her old form. When did she get turned into a form? What? And as it just so happened, the cure tied in nicely with her plan. She met up with her friends, telling them of the Grinch's vile ways and habits, giving them all the information they needed to help her with her plan before she left, arriving just as her husband awoke. Okay, that could have been broken up into several sentences. Now, all Grinches were very big-headed creatures. They adored attention and loved to think that people gave a crap about them, constantly showing off to one and another with shitting dancing and by singing out of tune. Shamoosh used it to her advantage and asked her husband to hold a party for all Grinches of every race and kind. A sort of get-together, if it were. The Mountain King was unsure at first, but by using her wonderful manipulation tactics, Shamoosh soon won him over, and he agreed, intending to hold a party at his mountain lair. Perfect. On the night of the party, Shamoosh mingled among the creatures, watching them from afar, with a look of disgust upon her face at the way they acted and, well, smelt really. She didn't understand why they didn't know how to keep themselves clean, but sadly for her nostrils it seemed they found the scent of feces appealing. I think it's supposed to say feces. Sick. She had already set everything into motion, having gotten things ready the night before, but now all she needed to do was wait until the night time to put her plan into action. Nearing the end of the party, her husband called everyone into the main hall to do a big pointless speech about some shit no one cared about, and at this moment, Shamoosh ran from the room outside, diving behind a mass of rocks before she smiled to herself, pulling out what looked like a remote from her pocket, and with a smirk pressed the button down, a loud explosion happening a few moments later. The scenes that followed filled her heart with glee. These horrible creatures were all trapped within the lair. The only exit had been sealed off by rocks falling down from the roof, meaning not one of the vile things could escape. Shamoosh listened to the screams of pain and smiled to herself, leaning against the side of the lair, humming a tuneless ditty, waiting to the fire to die down before... What? Okay, bad grammar there. Before she slowly pulled the rocks away from the outside, squeezing through the gap in the rock slide and walking into what had been the party hall. The festering corpses of the Grinches laid upon the floor in smoldering heaps. I guess a fire happened? When did this fire happen? Some torn limb from limb by the blast of the explosion. I guess maybe during the explosion. She found her husband laying face down on the floor and smiled down at him, seeing his fingers twitching so slightly. "Oh, what's this? You're still alive?" She smirked and swiftly kicked him in the muzzle, shattering his skull, killing him with a sharp crunch. "Well, not anymore, you're not." She laughed and then sat down beside his body, using a shard of rock to dig into his chest cavity. Talk about overkill. Opening up his rib cage and exposing his heart to the air. So this is how I turned back. A little cliche, I guess, but hell, anything than staying like this. She ripped out his heart and brought it to her lips, biting down into the organ and devouring it whole, feeling her body shift and change back into that of a human, no longer one of those vile Grinches. With a spring in her step, she left the lair, leaving the bodies to the rats and other more worthy animals while she made her way down the mountain back to her hometown, being greeted by her friends. She told them what happened and then decided to write a report on the Grinches, a true report showing their true nature, a report which could be passed down through the years and would last all eternity. And that is the story of how Shamoosh escaped the pedo bear Grinches and killed every last one of those creepy, fail-filled social rejects. The end. Also, this is the last story ever. So if another story happens to get written about the adventures of Shamoosh or Grinches in general, you can know it's fake, since all Grinches are dead. Happy face. Okay, and more from the author. I guess this is supposedly non-fiction. Is this even a fanfic, or maybe someone sent it to me as a fanfic because it had the word Grinch in there, but I'm not even sure if this is a freaking fanfic. True story, guys. Yep. Any other stories are lies. Trust me, I know. Killed them all. Yep. You're welcome, human race. So, did this Shamoosh person literally, mass murder a bunch of other people or something? I mean, I'll never know because the comments were disabled. I don't know what the hell did I read? I don't understand. What? This is one of the things I don't like about getting fanfics from DeviantArt. It doesn't specifically say what the fanfic, what fandom the fanfic is from. I don't even know if this was really a fanfic. They're trying to say it's nonfiction, but I highly doubt this was nonfiction. I'm sure it really was fiction, or at least I hope so. Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. Some of the things you guys send me. Okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it. You listen. I'm in shorts because it's really hot.